What's going on, guys? So today we're gonna just really quickly unbox the DJI RS3 Pro combo. Gonna get my first impression, maybe compared to my DJI RSC 2 that I'm currently using, and then what you must do before the gimbal setup, and just set up an application connectivity to the actual phone and your camera. So let's just get started. So as you can see, the DJI does a really good job with packaging. They're probably just a little bit behind Apple, so we have like these really cool tabs, so I really don't even need to use the knife. And let's just go ahead, pull these tabs. A little ASMR here. Very premium hard case. So let's get this open. And here we are. Here's the gimbal. Here's the accessories. You have a little Velcro for all the additional stuff, which we're gonna just really quickly glance at. We have the railing for focus, which actually what's great, this attaches to actual Arca Swiss plate. So USB cables, another USB cable, and they include really cool QR codes that you can just scan and check out what it is and what it does. Another cables that's really great to have because you have multiple different cameras that you have to connect to the camera. Some of them have an HDMI, some of them don't have HDMI, some of them have a micro HDMI, so you have an option here. Of course, the manual. Then you have cord straps, ring for the focus. If your lens doesn't have the gears that focus motor can actually grip to, this is the solution. Piece for the focus. Then we have a bunch of screws that we can utilize to attach different accessories or focus motors. This plastically kind of like slingshot looking thing that actually holds your lens for the super smooth operation. But I do believe that you don't necessarily need this, but it's great to have because if you have a heavy lens that is actually resting on it, it gives a great stability that it's not going to be wobbling left and right. It's going to be staying in place and allows the gear motor, focus ring, or zoom ring to operate without any issues, without detaching the connections. Now, first things first, you always have to get the battery grip and charge it. So that's number one thing. You have to make sure that the battery grip is actually charged. The arm, which is amazing. I absolutely love that they include that in the combo. That's something that will help me because a lot of times I shoot a undersling mode a lot of times, and this actually is a great handle that allows you to get the grip up. You have the cold shoe up top, so you can mount some accessories here. It's a good size handle, which is some of the people saying the battery grips for RS3 is smaller and your pinky is kind of like, you know, behind, not getting enough grip. And hopefully this one doesn't have this detach of the rubber covering like it does in my RSC 2. I do use it a lot and it's getting like all these little corners are just peeling off, which I hope this is not the case with this. Right here is the phone mount, so you can attach your phone to the side of the gimbal or maybe to the top. It's whatever you desire. Okay, we got the actual plate, which is very cool that they have this rivets, and those rivets are specially made for that tuning up of the gimbal when you're balancing with that little roller pin, which is amazing. this is going to make the balancing so much easier. They do have an actual attachment for the focus motor, which is really cool that they have it with the actual plate. So when you take it off, the focus motor actually stays with the camera when you take it off and just put it on the tripod or whatnot. Okay, so now the battery, perfect. It's great that it has a good grip. I have big hands and it actually fits pretty good, just like it does with my RSC2. Really liking that's what they did, and they actually, it seems like, made it even bigger, which is amazing. Something that is going to be awesome because you can actually buy a second one every single time to attach it. If you're running out of battery, attach the other one and toss this one, plug it in and let it charge, which is super cool. Let me go ahead and place this on the charger. Okay, so as I put the battery on the charger, we're gonna go ahead and just unpack everything else. Tripod, and it seems like this is pretty much identical to what my other, yep, as you can see, it's RS005 model, Rowan S, so it's the same tripod leg as all the rest of them. Okay, so basically, if you do have a Manfrotto style plates that you like to use, this is what it is. But if you are using Swiss Arc style plates, this is the actual plate for you to put on the gimbal. Here is our focus motor attaching to the nano rail, which is right here. We got Raven Eye, and it even says Raven Eye. Just like the other editions, just like the RSC2, I don't believe there's any changes in these. Another really cool thing that I found out later on, they're using the same almost antennas just like the drones in DJI. Keep in mind, the antennas, the main signal comes actually from these flat sides, not the points. So if you are standing kind of like in that direction, you probably want to have these flat sides point that way. So some actually saying like, okay, you just have to like put it one forward, the other one sideways, so you can get more coverage. It's really going to be depending on where you at and how far you are from the receiver. I'm going to try to use much more of this, and I will have a video up here where it's going to be talking about the Raven Eye, how it can assist you if you're a solo shooter. What's really cool about this is the arms are bigger. It's wider, it's bigger, which is going to be great because there's not going to be no issues if you do rig up your camera. I've seen so many different YouTubers actually showing how they put red cameras on it and black magic pocket cinema cameras that are all rigged up heavy with heavy cinema lenses, and this holds it really well. It doesn't allow it to ding and bang on the sides, which is really cool. Carbon fiber arms, that's another really cool feature that I noticed. You have a bigger screen than RS2 Pro. Now the wheel, what's really cool, the wheel, you can use it not only for the tilt and all that stuff, but you also can utilize this as the changing of the aperture, which is going to be really awesome for me because I do quite a few shoots that are requiring on the fly changing aperture, especially when the sun goes out, sun goes in, and I'm shooting some of the overslang mode, or I'm shooting some vehicles and I'm on the go, I'm on the bed of the truck, and I have to adjust. Previously what I was doing, I was just like adjusting the other arm, the ring of the aperture. Now I can actually be able to do this just by twisting this wheel. And here's that knob that we're talking about. Setup is done and you need to balance it. Because of this thread, you'll be able to just move it just by twisting this knob and adjust the balancing, which is another tip that I will show you later on when we're going to do the balancing. I'll teach you a little trick. While the battery is charging, one of the things I want to point out, this is going to be very awesome to have the actual switch, the toggle switch between PTF, PF, and FPV modes. You just simply switch on the fly, so you don't have to actually tap the menu button. I always accidentally tap it and it just goes to completely different mode, so you have to like tap a couple more times to go to the different cycle, which is super annoying. But with this, I mean, DJI listens to their customers and actually changes it really well. And what's really awesome about this is now you can wirelessly connect from this to the camera, no wires needed. I can stop and start recording, take a picture. Super excited about this feature. That's one of the biggest features that I wanted to get this new upgraded version. I'll show you on the screen right here where the differences of the RSC2, RS2, then RS3 and RS3 Pro. Alright, so we're back. We got our battery back, and obviously you can check if it's fully charged or not just by checking out all these dials and making sure that all this flop of the USB charging is closed. And let's go ahead and set everything up. Just simple screw it in and it should perfectly align everything. Then we will attach the gimbal itself to the base, slide it in, press the button, and goes in, and then you simply lock into place. So now I set everything up just the way it's supposed to be, lock it. Then what I will do is I'm gonna attach the plate. And the great thing about cage being on the camera is because you don't have to use just one screw, because it will, no matter how much you try, it will rotate this piece and the camera goes off balance really easy after a long use. So I'm going to deattach this plate and put in this plate. So instead of flat head, I actually have a quarter here. And now with this plate is not going to go anywhere, which is amazing. We're going to go ahead and slide this piece into here. Open it up, slide it in. Now here's another big deal. Like if you set up to balance this camera perfectly on the gimbal, first and foremost you have to make sure the SD cards are in. You have to make sure the battery is in. Take off lens caps, anything that you don't need. You have to take it off, open it up like you're about to use it. Now go ahead, slide that camera in, lock it into place. A lot of times if you have a zoom lens and you will be using zoom back and forth, I would go probably between like 24 to 70, just right between the focal length, just to make sure that that's like balanced, because if you go one way or another, it's going to be getting a toll on the motors. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and just tap the English button, and it gives you a QR code that you can scan and actually download the DJI app, where then you will go ahead and register everything. So it goes to the App Store, tells you to download the app. I already have the app, so I'll go ahead and open it up. Then I'll go ahead and select Pro, Connect, and it tells me that it's already in range. And by default, the password is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, and then connect. And you log in, or you create password. You log in, connect to the server, and of course it activates everything. Device activation is complete. Done. It's gonna ask you if you would like to DJI Care refresh plan. I'll skip right now. Quick start guide, skip all that. So now we're gonna go ahead and attach the camera to the gimbal, lock it, open everything up the way I want it to be. So now I will unlock this side, and now I wanted to see if the tilt axis is balanced. Now the tilt axis obviously is going to be front heavy, so what we're going to do, I will go halfway. This is a little trick, just going halfway and then adjust everything like so, then lock it. Then we're going to go with the lens up, and let's slide so it will be perfectly balanced. It's not going to fall this way or that way. If you have a trouble to slide back and forth just make sure you lift the weight of the camera just a little bit and then slide to that perfect position that it's not gonna tilt anywhere. Just make sure it's all good. Then we go ahead and tighten this knob and let's see if it stays. Here you go. No matter how you put it, it stays, that's what we want to see. And if you balance it right, you're not going to have no strains on the motors, and it's not going to be draining too much power. It's going to be just smooth, balanced gimbal. So let's go ahead and lock this piece, and then let's work on this axis. Now, as you can see, it's left side heavy. So now, again, we're just going to like hold it just a little bit to support it, open up this knob, slide it just a little bit, slide it a little bit more. Just now it's right side heavy. Let's slide it, and actually slides really well with the carbon fiber. I don't know why. Now we'll lock this and it should stay. And that's what we want. We're gonna go back. Now we're gonna lock this. We are going to unlock this axis. And now as we hold this, tilt, and you can see how it actually falls. It's front heavy on this side. Go ahead, unlock this piece, slide it just a little bit, just then create a little bit halfway, don't lock it full all the way. And now as you can see, it's not going left, right. That's good. Now what we'll do is we're gonna just turn it on. It unlocks all the parts. Now every time you set up everything, you need to calibrate it. And one of the things you can do, you can go through the menu and select the calibration, or you can hold the M button, which is right here. You hold the M button and you hold the trigger button, and you hold it for just a few seconds and it will start calibrating. It does a little bit of that wobbly thing and just like shakes all sorts of axes just to make sure it's all good. And the calibration is actually shown as a percentage up in the front. It does this weird noise, which is totally fine, so don't freak out about it. And it says calibration is complete. So now we are ready to use our gimbal. It looks good, it feels good. It has plenty of room, which is going to be awesome, because if you mount the mic on top, it's not going to be dangling as it was before in my other gimbal, but it looks fantastic. And then triple tap should work as a selfie mode, which is really cool. Triple tap again, it goes back to normal mode. This knob on the side, which is really cool, it takes you to the all sorts of different modes. Then on the fly you select FPV, which goes all sorts of different directions. Whatever you go, it's just kind of like FPV drone. And there's that cool feature where you actually press the sleep mode, it locks. Now everything is locked. Now if you tap it again, it unlocks it and it's ready to go. It's like from the sleep mode, it goes in back to the active mode. Then if you press and hold to shut it off, it goes into this mode that it goes to sleep. It locks the axis, you know it's locked. You can close it down, you can shut off the camera, whatnot. You good to go. You can grab it, just go somewhere and then put it back. You press the button, obviously open up the window. You press the button to hold it to unlock it, it unlocks, and we're ready to shoot, guys. If you decide to put all the other stuff onto the camera, like, you know, focus ring or some other things, accessories that will essentially affect the weight of this camera, you definitely want to rebalance the whole thing just to make sure everything is good to go. It'll give you this option of when you tap the FPV mode, it can go to that rolling effect if you want to do that going into the tunnel and vortex. Then you can go ahead and do the portrait mode, which is another really cool feature. If you decide to do some videos where you need to get that Instagram reel or whatnot, you can do that. And obviously with the underslung handle, it's going to be much easier to hold on to and actually do that. And you can always put this tripod rest on your body, so to make it even easier to do so. And here's what's awesome about this handle, and that's something that I notice a lot of videographers, they make a mistake where they attach this handle and attach it on the right side on this end, which is pretty dangerous if you do so. You have to attach this piece on this end, and here's why: because you have a little stopper right here. So when you do slide it in, into place like so, and if for some reason you decide to lift it up and you didn't tighten the knob right here good enough, it will not slide off because there's a stopper that prevents it from happening. And if you do it on this side like so, if you do it on this side, you tighten it, and then if you lift it up, it can slide out pretty easily if you don't tighten it really well. So I always suggest to make sure that you are aware of where that stopper is and put it underneath. As you know, you're gonna lift the gimbal, it will protect it from sliding out and falling with all the camera and all the expensive equipment down. Now, under sling mode, what this was great is actually it gives you a ability to put something over here and the monitor or whatnot. So here's how it works here under sling mode. There's plenty of room that you can always go under and just like work your way around everything, and it's fantastic. And the great thing is that you have the freedom to adjust everything on the fly without any kind of issues, and then go up if you need to go roll. You have that. You want to do the portrait mode, it goes into portrait mode. What I was telling you about, you can put this on you. You will be able to wirelessly, because of the Bluetooth system, stop and start recording by just pressing the button over here on the joystick, versus what I used to do. I used to like just tap the shutter button to go ahead and start and stop the recording. But with this one, you can even start recording. You can take pictures, which is amazing. So great feature. I love it, and cannot wait to use it in the field. So